I'm Brandy Agerbeck, and this is my graphic facilitation show and tell. You can find out a lot more about my work at loosetooth.com. Today I've got a very simple story on how to use color, and in this case, how to limit your color palette to make your information better organized. So this was a forum, a 2-day forum, of people who all had the same roles within their company. So they were representing about a dozen different companies, but in this case they all had the same role, and they were there in this 2-day forum to share best practices. Generally speaking, those best practices broke down into internal issues of personnel and external issues. So the internal were folks within their own team, and external were folks like suppliers and vendors. Up front, I made a very simple decision, and that was to limit color to better organize my charts. And in this case, I used warm colors whenever they were talking about their internal team, and I used cool colors whenever they were talking about external folks they had to work with. So, the first day was primarily talking about internal issues, and so they were talking about things like, here's our team, yay team, yay us. Here's what our team is passionate about. And different points about the internal. Now, obviously, a gross oversimplification of what I did, but you could see I used this limited color palette to talk about the internal folks. Now, on day 2, when we began talking about external folks, I could make a very clear distinction, because I limited my colors, between who was internal and who was external. So they were having a discussion on how the internal folks could work better with the external folks, and we could very clearly and very simply distinguish between these internal folks and the external folks by using colors, using limited colors consistently. So in the case of this, we had a series of points, again, abbreviated for the purposes of the video, but you could we could very clearly say, you know, these are issues that have to do with the internal team, these are issues that have to do with working with folks external, because we're using these limited colors consistently, and we can talk about, you know, in what cases they're working together. So again, very, very simply, using color, using limited color to create better organization in this chart, in these charts for this 2-day event. Again, I'm Brandy Agerbeck. I'm a graphic facilitator, and you can find my work at loosetooth.com. So thanks for viewing.